Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Good copy over here. I'm going to start with tzedakah for the safety of Jewish people everywhere, and for the speedening. We make up words here. The speedening of the coming of Mashiach immediately today. Okay, we're going to continue on the essence of Chassidus. We're toward the end of section 3, which in your case with the English would be the last paragraph on page 12. Okay, last paragraph on page 12. Okay, so just a quick review where we're holding. We're trying to pinpoint what is exactly Chassidus. And the Rebbe told us what Chassidus is. Chassidus is, quote, a transmission, a drawing down of a new light from the level of the inner level of Keser, the supernal crown. It's practically at this point in time not understandable what that means. It's something new and refreshing and novel. That's all we know so far. We explained that this essential point of what Chassidus is, from there expands and extends and results all the earlier things that we said, the accomplishments of Chassidus. And the Rebbe started explaining that what was said regarding Chassidus, that it is this novel light, this new light introduced, this godly light, is actually true regarding the Torah in general, not just the part of that is Chassidus. The Rebbe started explaining that the Torah comprises within it all greatnesses and all perfections and all the greatest of the greats. So it's the greatest wisdom. And we brought the story of the previous Rebbe that they were having a discussion, and all the positive aspects of all the economical or social systems, whatever they're called, exist within Torah. The negative aspects do not exist within Torah. And the last thing we said was, not only this, but also all the vitality, the energy, the fact that the world even exists, the whole universe, it gets its power, its energy, its life through Torah. So let's restart this paragraph. However, with all these great things that we're saying about the Torah, this is not what Torah at its core is. It's not simply a battery that the world should exist. It's not even the greatest wisdom, meaning it is these things, but it's not really what it is. How do I say that in English? It's like an example I like to give is you have a person, father, and he has a job, and he works in a box factory, and he's got a label on his thing, and it says he's the box factory manager. Is that who he is at his core? No, he's not a box factory manager. He happens to be one, but that's not who he is. He's a father. He's a husband. He's a son. And he might even be more than that, deeper. So that's not what Torah is. It's not these things at its core. It is these things, but it's not its true identity. It's not the essence of Torah. The essence of Torah is what it is, that it is united completely, with the infinite light of Hashem, which is enclosed within it with the ultimate unity. Therefore, since all the universes, all the worlds are like nothing before Hashem's infinity, so too is the truth, is that the reality in contrast to the Torah. And therefore, you cannot praise the Torah at all with the praise of the fact that it is the vitality of all the worlds, since it is like nothing, literally. To explain what that means, what we just read just now was actually a quote. It was a quote from Tanya, the end of the Tanya. Just give us some context. There's a verse in Tehillim, in Psalms. It says, Zmires hayu li chukecha beves megurai. King David HaMelech, is saying to Hashem, Zmires hayu li chukecha, your chukim, your mitzvahs, your Torah, were like songs for me. Yeah, so when he was in a distressful situation, the Torah and the mitzvahs were like songs for David HaMelech. And the question is why? What is his idea that he's calling them songs? Even more startling, we learn, I believe it says in the Zohar, that Hashem responded to this, that David called the Torah and the mitzvahs songs. And it wasn't a positive response. It says, David, you're calling my Torah, my mitzvahs, you're calling them songs, and he was actually punished for this. What's going on over here? So the Alter Rebbe in the Tanya, at the end of the Tanya, explains like this, in a nutshell. What was David saying? What was he praising the Torah about? What was causing him such inspiration and such deep euphoria? Maybe, I don't know. What was he getting so excited about? That therefore he called the Torah songs. Is like this. He was amazed when he thought into how the entire existence of all the worlds, the physical and the spiritual, are dependent on a small nuance of Torah. Examples the Alter Rebbe gives, if blanking on the exact example, but basically if somebody puts on tefillin, it causes a unity, a supernal unity in the divine wisdom above in the higher worlds, which is the source of vitality for all the worlds. If a person does not put on tefillin, they remove this energy. In other words, us following the Torah's wisdom and its laws, causes stuff to happen. The fate and the reality of the universes is dependent on these small nuances in Torah. In fact, there's even an example that Alter Rebbe gives of something that is supposed to be done with the right hand, and if it's done with the left hand, it messes everything up. One small little detail controls the trajectory of the entire universe. So David was so amazed by, look how deep this wisdom is. Look how high and godly this wisdom is, that it controls the whole of the universe. And Hashem responds, David, Zmiris Karisalahu, you call my Torah Zmiris, it's songs. That's all it is. This is the praise of the Torah. You completely missed the point. What is the idea? The idea is, this is not what Torah is at its core. This is a small detail. Why? Because the Torah at its core is, quote, Miyuchedes legamri b'yinsei baruch hu amalubash b'betachlis hayichud. Torah is a thing, it's something that is completely united and one with the infinite light of Hashem. And just like, in contrast to the infinite light of Hashem, the worlds are absolutely nothingness. So too, in contrast to Torah, the worlds are nothingness. So it's nothing praiseworthy to say that, wow, look how great the Torah is, that it gives life to all the worlds. It gives life to all the worlds, big deal. What worlds? In the Torah's eye, so to speak, there's no, worlds are nothing. So this is not a praise, it's not, I'm trying to give a good example of this, I don't know. It's almost like you meet a big sage, a professor, a deep philosopher and thinker, somebody who people flock to hear his wise words and advice and guidance. And what he says goes, because they know that what he says is the final say. It is the truth. And somebody examines this professor and examines him and watches him and observes him, and he comes to the conclusion, he says, wow, this professor, his shirts are so clean. How does he get his shirts so clean? They're perfect. This is almost an insult because the greatness of the professor is not his shirt, how clean his shirt is. Sure, that's impressive in and of itself, but in the context of we're talking about who this person is and what he does and what he accomplishes, the fact that his shirt is clean is meaningless. So too, and infinitely more so, to say that the world is dependent on even a small nuance in Torah, in Hashem's eyes, this is in contrast to the infinite light of Hashem. This is a nothing. Fine. So we see that this is not the fact that the Torah is the greatest wisdom and it contains all the positive aspects of all these different economical systems, and the fact even that it's the greatest wisdom and that it's the vitality of all the worlds is not what Torah truly is. Elo, says the Rebbe, however, mitzad nekudos ha'atmis, because of its essential point that it is united with the infinite light of Hashem, automatically, because of this, it includes within it all the perfections and all the greatnesses and all the unique qualities that exist within the world. And through it, energy and life is given to the universe. So, again, on the one hand, these great things that we're saying about the Torah in general, that it is the energy of all the worlds, and that it is the greatest wisdom, and so on and so forth. This does not capture what Torah is at all. What Torah is something that is united, it is one with Hashem's infinite light. That's what it is. And therefore, because of that, it contains all these advantages, all these qualities. So now, the Rebbe said this regarding Torah in general. Now he's going to zoom in specifically on Chassidus. So what is it about Chassidus that makes it unique in this conversation? However, we're on the next paragraph already. So this is page 13, I guess. Yeah. Although all parts of the Torah, their essential, their core point is this, that they are united with the infinite light of Hashem. This is reality of all parts of Torah. It doesn't matter if we're talking about Kabbalah. It doesn't matter if we're talking about Talmud or Shulchan Aruch, the laws of the Torah. It doesn't matter if we're talking about the stories of Torah or the Tanakh. It doesn't matter what part of Torah we're talking about. This is the reality of all parts of Torah, that the Torah is united with Hashem's infinite light. Despite this, says the Rebbe, this that Torah is united with Hashem's infinite light is mainly seen and mainly expressed in the part of Torah which we call Chassidus. It's in Chassidus where this idea that Torah is one with Hashem's infinite light is blatantly seen. Yeah, so we're on the last paragraph of page 13 now. Why? Because all parts of Torah, the infinity, the infiniteness of Hashem, that these parts of Torah contain, or are vested in a certain form. They appear in a certain description, a certain mode. A form which defines and expresses the essence of this portion of Torah. And the form of this portion of Torah, whether it's Pshat, Remez, Drush, or Sod, simple level, the hint level, the expounding level, or the Kabbalah level, they conceal the simplicity of the infinity that is enclosed within it, which is a concealment of what's called a garment that can't be changed. V'ilu Toras Chassidus, however, the teachings of Chassidus, mikivan she'enu mugderes beis here, since these teachings are not bound by any particular form, va'atziurim she'inyan shebechassidus misgala yodam kilevush tachalifim v'yachaloifu, and the forms which Chassidus takes on to reveal its teachings through those forms is like a garment that can be changed. This will all be explained in a moment. Parenthetically, the Rebbe says, and therefore, the Chassidus includes within it all four parts of the Torah: Pshat, Remez, Drush, and Soid, and vivifies them, enlivens them, energizes them, as we will explain in a few sections. The form of Chassidus does not truly conceal the simplistic infinity that is within it. What do we just say? In other words, Torah, as we just said, is something that is completely one and united with Hashem's infinite light. That's what Torah is. Okay? Why is it when I learn a piece of Talmud and I learn about an ox and a sheep, and the ox gores the sheep, and how much does the owner have to pay to the other owner of the sheep? Why is it that I don't see that infinity there? Why is it I don't see the godliness that is apparent on the page? Even when I learn Kabbalah, Kabbalah talks about godliness, talks about divine wisdom and divine understanding and divine kindness and divine severity. Even there is a form as well. And it's bound by this form. And I don't necessarily see the godliness. And what's the proof? The proof is a person can learn Kabbalah and they can get lost in the technicalities, and they can start thinking that there's all these different levels and all these different worlds, and they can pull Hashem out of the picture, God forbid. Because all parts of Torah, although it's true that they are all one with Hashem's infinite light, that is their true reality, their true essence. Each part of Torah has a particular body to it, a form which conceals this essence. We're comparing it here to, there's two different types of garments. There's a garment that you can change, and there's a garment that you can't change. Yeah? You heard of this before? There's clothes that you can take off and change and put on different clothes, and there's clothes that you can't take off. The clothes that you could take off are like these. Different jacket. I don't like the black jacket, I'll wear a blue jacket. I don't like my white shirt, I'll put on a t-shirt, whatever. I can change my clothes. But then there's a type of clothes that you can't change, no matter how hard you try. It's called skin. Skin, the skin that Hashem gave you when you're born, that's what you have. You can't take it off and put on a different skin. To say it in other words, clothing express you or conceal you. Skin is you. It's fair enough to say. Skin is you. It's who, that is you. It's part of you. In the other parts of Torah, Pshat, the simple level of Torah, Remez, the level which hints one thing to another, Drush, where one thing is expounded to learn out one thing from something else, or Sod, which is the Kabbalah, the mystical aspect of Torah, the mystical teachings of Torah. In all of these four parts, the garment which houses the infinite light of Hashem conceals that infinity. Chassidus also takes on forms. In fact, you'll find in Chassidus the strangest thing. Each part of Torah has its rules. We'll talk about this later, actually. Each part of Torah has its boundaries, its rules. Okay, Pshat in the simple reading of the Chumash, in Rashi's commentary, you won't find Kabbalistic teachings. It's not there. Okay, if you open up Maimonides' book of Mishnah Torah, his book of Jewish law, and if you open up any Shulchan Aruch, any code of Jewish law, you won't find stories in there, the stories of the Torah, because they don't mix. You don't take one part of Torah and they have different rules. It's like the same way you don't apply the principles of math to science. You don't apply the principles of biology to history. They're different wisdoms. They don't mix. Okay? So to the different parts of Torah, they don't mix. And you'll find something very strange, very interesting in Chassidus. The Chassidus breaks those rules. Chassidus will discuss literally everything. Chassidus will discuss Jewish law. Chassidus will discuss stories. Chassidus will discuss Kabbalah extensively. Chassidus will discuss the simple meaning of a verse in the Chumash. Chassidus will discuss words of davening, of the prayers. Chassidus has no rules in this regard. What's going on? Because the garment that Chassidus takes on, that houses this light, it's like a garment that can go on and come off. Because the infinite light of Torah is clearly seen in Chassidus. It's not limited to those forms. Those forms don't conceal that light. The light is clearly seen. So now, tomorrow, God willing, actually not tomorrow, either way, as you say in Gemara language, either way we look at it, we're not going to be doing this tomorrow, probably. Why? Because either it's Tisha B'Av and it's a fast day and it's a sad day, we're in exile, and you're not allowed. We're not going to be learning this stuff on Tisha B'Av. Or Mashiach is going to come today. Tisha B'Av will become a great celebration, a great holiday, and we might not have the time and the zitzfleisch, the patience to sit and learn this. We're going to be so busy celebrating. Of course, we're going to bring it back down. We're going to sit and we're going to continue learning Torah to the greatest degree. Mashiach comes, but I don't know right when Mashiach comes we'll have the ability to focus so well on our studies. So God willing, we're going to continue this on Wednesday. And we're going to learn, we're going to delve into, from understanding what the reward for something is, we can understand what the thing itself is. So we're from learning about what the reward, what the result of the study and the dissemination of Chassidus is, which is Mashiach. From learning about what Mashiach is, we'll understand what the essence of Chassidus is. We'll continue, God willing, on Wednesday.